Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy 3 and welcome to Boss Rush Island 1. Use Ben as your hero, and we're going to be starting off with 110 druid monkeys, and we can just leave them on first targeting. These druids are the best way to start off against Dreadbloon, so that's why we're using them. The placements don't have to be exact, but you want to place them down as soon as you can afford things. Every single druid we place in this early game is going to be 110, and again, you just want to kind of do, in general, my placements, but it doesn't have to be 100% perfect. It's not like I math these out or anything, so just make sure that they're able to hit the boss, and ideally they shouldn't be targeting the rock balloons too much, but they will do that anyways. Around pop 7 or after 10 druids, you can place down your hero, Benjamin. I put him in the bottom left hand corner, so you guys can copy that. Placement doesn't really matter. Then we're going to be placing down 4 hotshot tacks, which are the 302s, and immediately after that, we're going to be getting down a 204 balloon trap. This guy's going to be able to make us some money, and then as you see, next to him is a Grim Reaper, aka the Monkey Farmer. That's just the Grim Reaper skin. Then we're going to keep on placing down hotshots. You can see that I have 6 of them up right now, and the druids are still alive. We're going to place down 2 more balloon traps. If you want to, you could only place down 2 of them in total, but I think that 3 is slightly better. Now we're going to fill up the rest of this triangle with some hotshots and place down a rubber to gold on last targeting. You can see that we are kind of having a camo issue, but we do have like $6,000 to spare right now, so it's not an actual issue. All we have to do is place down a wizard right here, and I just get it up to an 032, not because that's the most efficient or anything, but we have the money for it, so why not? Place down a couple more hotshots if you feel like it, but more importantly is going to be getting down a 204 village so that we can buff the attack speed of the money making methods and also just buff how much money that they make. Now we can sell off some druids, and once you hit $35,000, you can sell 2 of the balloon traps in exchange for one of them to become an XXL trap. The exact one doesn't matter, but ideally it should be one up high in the left corner. Now we're going to get down a second alchemist on last targeting, and finally go for something that can kill the boss that isn't just tack shooters. This is going to, of course, be the Archimage, so as soon as possible, you're going to get down a 520 Archimage, and make sure your wall of fire is targeted so that it will hit the boss. Now we're going to place down a 250 Monkey Village, and that guy's going to, of course, be able to buff the Archimage, but ideally, before then, you also get down an overclock. My bad, I said it in the wrong order. You want to get the overclock first, and then get a 250 village. Additionally, we're just going to get down a little camo village so that our balloon trap can see camo and make slightly more money. But about now, we're kind of running behind. You really should have gotten up the village a while ago. We were just sitting on $100,000 for no reason for the longest time. After that, get down a 240 and then 250 Dartling Gunner, who is now the Mad, of course. This guy's going to be able to do a ton of damage, and once you're at about 59 skulls, you're going to want to use an overclock on him, use the Homeland Defense, and at 60 skulls, use that Mad ability. You also should have been overclocking the Archimage the whole time, but I feel like that's pretty obvious. Once you use your Mad ability, get down a Spirit of the Forest and a Juggernaut on last targeting. The Juggernaut is to accrue a couple of Dart Paragon pops, and it's not too important, but I do recommend getting down a 320 Alchemist next to your Mad, as later on it's going to be very useful. We're going to get down our Plasma Monkey Fan Club. The exact position doesn't matter too much, so I just put it right there. Make sure that when we do upgrade to a Paragon, you upgrade the Plasma Monkey Fan Club specifically, as if you upgrade anything else, you'll get less sellback value, and we are going to be selling this Paragon. Remember to use the ability trick again, where you use the overclock, then the Homeland Defense, and then the Mad ability all at once, because that lets it deal a ton of damage. We're then going to get down a 402 Monkey Village, and buy a ton of 032 Dart Monkeys inside of the range, as well as the rest of the tier 5s. As you see, we have two Crossbow Masters, which is a little bit overkill, as I end up with a degree 25, but it's better safe than sorry. Now we can get down the Dart Paragon, because we are at skull 90 or more, and it's pretty safely at degree 24, but the reason we got the second tier 5 is because if you got the Juggernaut a little bit late, that'll help out as you'll have less pops. Now we're just going to upgrade to a Permabrew and start going for the Flying Fortress upgrade on a Monkey Ace. Make sure that you're placing all the new towers in range of the Permabrew, as you just want them to get the buff. There's not a lot of buffs on right now, so why not? we're going to be overclocking it as well as the Mad, and kind of using the same overclock trick, but now it's overclock the Mad and the Flying Fortress, use the Homeland, and then use the Mad ability. Make sure you're targeting the Mad so that it's always hitting the boss, as that's very helpful. You're also going to want to get down a 520 Sentry Expert, I think is his name. Sentry Paragon? No, it used to... Sentry Champion, there it is. So once you get down the Sentry Champion, you can also get down every single Tier 5 Dark Monkey except for the Middle Path Tier 5, and you just want to put them towards the entrance on last targeting so that they can accrue as many pops as possible. I get down a 3rd Overclock just for the Sentry Expert, and if you are at all, if you're significantly behind me, you can also go for a Megalodon, as that will greatly speed things up. I decided to not go for Megalodon simply because I have a pretty good pace here, and if you want to catch up, right, I want my viewers to be able to catch up if they're a little bit behind. So if you place down a Megalodon in that pool up there on first targeting, it's going to be able to speed things up very, very drastically. In the middle area here, I get down an Avatar of Wrath. I also sped up the footage to 1.5 times speed, just to speed things up for y'all. I then go for a couple of Pop Lusts, trying to get 5 Pop Lusts in range of the Avatar of Wrath, although it's not working out too well, honestly. But if this guide's helping you out so far, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and to use code YOBOY, that's YOBOY, in the BTD6 store, as it helps me out greatly. One more thing you can do if you want to, if you want to find a great boss rush team, or you want to promote your own team with active players who are pretty good, or at least they watch the guide sometimes, as the only way to get in is through the link under my videos, you can join the BTD6 Boss Rush Discord. It's not official, but it's got a ton of different people posting their teams for you to join. We're going to get down a bunch more darts with our tower slots now, so basically with all of your tower slots you're going to be getting down 042 Super Monkey Fan Clubs, and now that it is at pop number 130, we can sell off some things. If you want to just get a chill, between 150 and 160, you can sell off everything except for the Flying Fortress. You can leave that guy, but just sell off some stuff. I kept all my farming towers, the Mad, the Homeland Defense, and the Flying Fortress because I do want to get a significantly higher score. But if you just want to do a lower score, you can only sell off the more useless things like the Archmage, the Sniper, and the Sentry Expert. That's all I had to sell, and then I bought the Dart Paragon by selling the first Dart Paragon, of course, and buying the Dart Paragon with a maximum cash slider to get degree 40 or more. If you get below degree 40, I'm not too sure how, honestly. You must not have sold enough stuff, but you go back and make sure that, you're doing a cash slider of at least about $150,000. That should easily get you to degree 40. And as I said earlier, if you do want to just go for, 150, 160 score, you can sell everything on the map except for the Dart Paragon, and just get your Dart Paragon, boost it with whatever, $400,000 cash sacrifice. You'll get it to degree 60, and you'll be able to get probably 155 pops, maybe even 160, depending on your current pace. But I wanted to get even higher, so we kept alive a lot of stuff. The Mad and the Flying Fortress are just to speed things up a little bit. Mostly the Flying Fortress is also there to be able to pop down any rock balloons that are going to be a little bit concerning, because the Dart Paragon cannot pop primary immune rocks, so it's important to have a Flying Fortress around. But I was able to keep both the Flying Fortress and the Mad and still get easily degree 40 plus. I believe my Dart Paragon's like degree 49. Anyways, you're going to want to make sure you get down a ton of 042 Druids, just in range of your Permabrew, so that they can get a bunch of pops for the Druid Paragon. If you're at about my pace, it's definitely going to be worth it to get the Druid Paragon, as it'll add easily 10 to 15 pops. And as you can see now, we can sell everything at 150 except for the Dart Paragon and be able to afford the Druid. I was a little bit hesitant and decided to wait till Skull 151, but I had more than enough money. I had 30,000 extra, plus 3 overclocks I forgot to sell, which would have been another 30,000, so once you're at Skull 150, you can sell everything other than the Dart Paragon. Please don't sell the Dart Paragon, and get the Druid Paragon. This guy will be able to completely shred the boss. Make sure to use the placement I did, make sure to use that Vengeful ability, and do not use any cash slider for the Druid Paragon. Otherwise, you will not have enough money to use the ability. So, yeah, cash slider, just not worth it for the Druid Paragon. I hope this video helped you out. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace out. Bye.